Welcome back to the 128 KB podcast. We are back once again.
Due to lack of popular demand.
Yes, and things are a little bit different this time. Yes, we're not in the same room.
No.
Mainly because Andy doesn't like me anymore. It's
That's
true.
not true. It's not true. He's been busy getting a massive Buster Sword.
Let me get my Buster Sword out. I don't know where it is for you guys. It's behind me. If you're part of our channel memberships, you would see it in our Discord that I now have a giant Buster Sword.
Oh, yes. It is life-size.
It's life-size. It's got material and everything. I am the happiest person in the world.
It's amazing.
I would ask how your week in gaming's been, as we traditionally start the show.
Oh, yes.
But it's only been a couple of days since I last saw you.
Yeah, well, as you can probably, some eagle-eyed viewers might see down there, I've been rocking the Asus ROG Ally X. So that's been my week in gaming.
That's ridiculously exciting. Some videos on that coming really soon.
Yeah.
Some from you.
Yes.
Maybe some from us together if you let me touch it as well.
I very much hope so.
Will Asus allow me to touch it? That's the question.
Yeah. Need to ask them.
Yeah. So this is a bit of an impromptu podcast because basically this weekend Xbox decided to just flop it all out.
They did, yeah. They whipped it out
Just
so
flopped it all
hard.
out. Yeah. They were like, do you know what, guys? You've said that we don't have many games and, Xbox is really lagging behind. So what we're going to do is release all the games
Every game
you could ever want.
Yeah.
Every game ever.
Yeah. And at the beginning of pretty much every game, just be like, Game Pass, day one, Game Pass, just have it all. Yeah.
Just have it all.
It was insane. I mean, obviously there's a lot on there as well that wasn't day one, but they really brought the big guns out. Like, I watched this. Well, we were talking through the whole thing, but I was like, Sony need to really step up now.
Yeah, it was said in our Discord as well, our channel membership Discord, about it kind of made Sony's recent showcase almost laughable by comparison.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a hell of a weekend for kind of games announcements, and we are going to focus on Xbox on this one because they just flopped it all out. It was the ultimate flex.
Yes.
But we'll also touch on the Summer Games Fest that happened. Was that Friday night?
Friday night, yeah.
It's all been a bit of a blur.
It has. It's just been so many announcements.
Ridiculous, yes, because there were some big announcements in that, but Xbox really did dominate this kind of summer showcase season.
Yes.
Yeah, just incredible. We were talking all the way through it, and I'm pretty sure it was I want to say everything bar a handful. Let's say 95% of the games were day one Game Pass.
There was a lot, like a lot.
And some big games as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, big games. Yeah, they started off strong as well, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess we're here now. Let's jump straight into it.
Should we jump straight in? And what they flashed on the screen was 300 gigabytes!
It's that scene from Back to the Future. 1.21 gigawatts! Yeah, it was... of course, we're talking about Call of Duty, the biggest game in the world.
Oh, yeah. The most unoptimized, hugest file size game ever created, yeah.
It is just an operating system on its own.
Yeah.
Bloatware.
Yeah.
Does it have a calculator in it and Minesweeper?
Probably.
Solitaire?
I think it is just built off Windows. Like,
it comes bundled with McAfee antivirus.
Yes, it probably does. Yeah, it probably does.
Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This was obviously the big hitter right from the start, and I think must be a full year since they took over Activision.
Yeah.
It's coming up to that anyway. It was their first proper release cycle where Microsoft Gaming have been in charge of this. We saw Black Ops 6 there, and they were running the trailers. It looks like a cool Call of Duty game, sure.
Yeah.
But the highlight surely was right at the end, and we all kind of rumoured this and kind of discussed will they be able to do this? Will they be able to afford to do this? But it was, of course, day one Game Pass for the first Call of Duty release. That is insane.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. In such a short amount of time from acquisition, to be able to go day one Game Pass with like one of the biggest games. You know, this franchise brings out a game every year, and it's always massive selling, huge player base. You know, we ourselves succumbed to buying the last one over like Christmas, and you know, like I'm really happy that they're going to be on Game Pass now, because now I don't have to buy them.
I was talking to producer Pete, who Eagle Eye viewers will have seen, or maybe will see in the future.
We'll see in a future
which
video,
podcast goes out when. Pete, who works with us here at 128 KV, he's a big PlayStation fan, but kind of quite blinkered. He just plays PlayStation, just plays first-person shooters.
No, he just plays Fortnite.
He just plays Fortnite and occasionally Call of Duty. And he used to love Call of Duty, and his criticism was that he couldn't keep up with buying it every year, and it didn't seem worth it.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
Yeah. And to be fair, I think that's how I felt about Call of Duty for a long time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the point in buying it every year when it's ostensibly the same game that I'm getting?
Yeah.
And so when I said to him, well, if you get an Xbox, you'll just get it day one Game Pass for free as part of your subscription. He honestly, it looked like I kicked him in the stomach. He couldn't believe me. What? I don't have to buy it? Like, yeah, it's Game Pass, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It has to be, currently, it has to be the biggest franchise there is, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's a household name, isn't it? Everybody knows what Call of Duty is.
Yeah, I can't think of anything more like more successful right now than that.
Not really.
So for them just to go, Game Pass, it must be costing them a lot in lost sales.
Oh yeah, yeah. But again, they've got all their crazy like in-game items that you can buy. Do you know what I mean? They've got the battle pass.
Yeah.
And then you've got like, you can be freaking Nicki Minaj and stuff or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like
Lara Croft.
Yeah. So they charge a lot for that. And people buy into it. Whenever I jump onto Call of Duty, I'm getting shot by like Lilith from Diablo and stuff. You know, it's like someone's paid like 40
Is
quid.
Lilith in it?
Yeah, you can actually be Lilith. Like, and when you shoot them,
amazing.
and they die, they like blow up in a load of blood petals.
Ah, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, I love it, but I'm not paying for like in-game items. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no,
like they're well expensive as well. So that's how they're going to reap their money back, I think.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I guess PlayStation players are just going to look on with £70 no longer in their pocket, wishing they had an Xbox.
Well, this is where they put it at 100 quid.
Yeah. Well, the pre-order bundle for it is £100. I remember Modern Warfare 3, because obviously that came out quite recently.
Yeah.
A friend of mine pre-ordered it for PlayStation, and they paid £100 to get early access.
Great.
And I think it was 3 days pre-release.
Yeah.
It's like, pay £100 or wait 3 days and get it as part of my Game Pass subscription. I'm not sure which.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What am I going to choose? So that's huge. I'm still trying to get over the kind of magnitude of that.
Yeah, it won't sink in, I think, until I download it for free on Game Pass. Do you know what I mean? Until I can just go, doop, and then like get it. It's ridiculous. And I'm assuming that's still day one on PC Game Pass too. You know?
It will be, yeah.
So so people that have like an Asus ROG Ally or whatever that's got a Windows-based system, you just need Game Pass and then boom, just download it and start playing. It's insane.
That's going to be pretty mad. Do you think you'll have an Asus ROG Ally X by then?
Depends if this one goes missing on the return shipment or not.
That was my sneaky way of trying to get a sneak preview of your review.
I would like to have one, yeah, but they're very expensive.
So if this one gets lost in shipping as you send it back,
it gets lost in shipping as mine arrives. It's really weird. Like,
what's the chances of that?
I've no idea.
The version you've got, is it a pre-release build?
Yeah, it says on the back of it in Chinese, and then in English it says, "This is a sample for testing purposes only. A sign and/or transfer is not allowed." But it's a sticker, so once you peel that off, you're all good.
The rules no longer apply. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
okay.
it.
So you probably don't want to keep that one. It's probably going to be less than optimized.
Well, that's it. That's true, yeah. So we just have to see if I can trade it for a retail unit.
Take it to a pawnbroker's.
That's the one, yes.
Considering that there's only 5 in the UK at the moment as well.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Take it to CEX. They'll sell it for £1 million.
CEX will give you £5 in vouchers.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it, and a free DVD with coffee stains on it.
I saw an LCD Steam Deck in there, unboxed, 512. It was £420.
So
last weekend.
What?
Yeah. So I keep popping into the local CEX, or it's a pawnbrokers if you're from America or wherever, that just deals in electronics.
Yeah.
And I've got half a mind to buy a second-hand Steam Deck if an OLED comes available.
Yes.
So I keep looking, and they keep asking for more than retail in there.
Yeah.
For a second, I was like, they're not scarcity. No. I can just go on their website and order it.
Yeah.
Why are you charging more?
It will take like a week to come when you order it from Valve, and you can pay $450 for an OLED. So why would you buy a 512 LCD for the same price?
If I get it new from Valve, I'll get the benefit of being able to sniff the fans.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, not smelling someone else's farts that are trapped in the fans.
We'll get that new Steam Deck smell. Everyone knows.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, I'm going to move along to the second game. I can't believe we're only just on second game. This is really long as well.
This is, yeah.
This had you frothy straight away.
Oh,
this had you warm and frothy. I
straight away was like, oh my God. Because at first we were like, what is it? And then I was like, it's Doom. And yeah, it was.
I didn't believe you because it doesn't, because it takes place in a completely different setting to all the other Dooms we've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was like, it looks a bit like Doom, but it doesn't look like Doom. Yeah. And then I saw when they started showing the gameplay towards the end, I was like, oh, it's definitely Doom.
Yeah, well, it showed Doom guy like putting all his stuff on, and then I was like, well, that's Doom, But like you said, it doesn't seem to be set on Mars, and you're not in a spaceship, and you're not in hell. So I love that. Like, I love that. We're getting a different setting because I love Doom. Like, I'm a big Doom fan, but I do feel like they're all very samey, like, looking games. They're excellent fun. Like, I play them all the time. I've got them on multiple platforms and stuff. But it was real nice, like, refreshing breath of fresh air to see, like, you're actually on, like, a different planet or whatever, and there is some vegetation there. Everything's not just dead. So,
and I think that's what spun me out, was seeing the vegetation. It kind of gave me, it was almost kind of like Skyrim-esque vibes to it.
Yeah, exactly.
What's going on with this? Elder Scroll vibes.
And he's got a shield. So instead of a chainsaw, he's got the chainsaw shield. Like that was amazing. Like, absolutely blew my mind. I was like, yes.
So that's Doom, The Dark Ages. I'm pretty sure that was Game Pass as well.
Oh, yeah, day one. Yeah, madness.
That is madness. Okay, so State of Decay 3.
Yeah.
Right. How many zombie survivor games do we need?
Every
is the
single
answer
one of them.
All of them?
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I need to be honest here and I've never played the previous two. So when this was getting shown, I was like, oh, this looks really cool, thinking it was like some new thing. And then it was like State of Decay 3. I was like, well, I know the name State of Decay, but I've never played any of them.
What happened to 1 and 2?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah. What? They're doing a Star Wars.
Cross-platform multiplayer, though. So that was the kind of redeeming part.
Yeah.
Because me and you are constantly on the hunt for co-op games, basically. Multiplayer games that we can play together.
Yes.
And you and your wife, Christina, as well, because you both game as well. So sometimes we all get to game together.
Yeah.
Some of the members of the channel do as well, which is really cool. We've been playing Diablo 4 recently.
Yes.
With some of the channel members. So constantly looking for like multiplayer co-ops and cross-platform at that is huge. So that's quite exciting. So it was a big redeeming feature, and it did look, like, visually looked quite cool.
It looked really cool. I really liked the aesthetic and stuff. I thought, oh, this looks cool. And it's got a single player as well as the co-op and cross-platform. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love seeing cross-platform stuff because it means you can play with Xbox.
Did you see if it was just PvE or was it?
I've got a feeling they do the like co-op-y multiplayer PvE stuff, so it's not just like against each other kind of thing. Like you can go in kind of like Left 4 Dead or something. You go in together, and then you got to like clear through the story or waves or whatever it might be. But I don't know enough about the series of games. I don't know what the first two are like, and I didn't really go and look into it afterwards either. I just thought, yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, it did look cool. I'm never that excited by zombie survival games. I just think it's been done to death.
There's so many of them.
So it's hard to get me that excited. But I'm when so much of this is on Game Pass, I'm willing to just try.
Yeah. Well, that's
because there's no risk.
That's the thing with like pretty much everything shown here is if you've got a Game Pass sub, who cares? Do you know what I mean? Just download it and try it. And the best thing is you don't even need to download it because you can just stream it first and then go, yeah, that's pretty cool. Now I'll download it.
Yeah, I don't need to eat up my precious hard drive space that's been taken up by 300 gigabytes of Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, I need to go back to that a minute because that's the rumours that it's going to be over 300 gig, the install size. Call of Duty we're talking about. For those players that have got a Series S, it's game over.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not... Can you even install 300 gig on a Series S after the operating system? It's close to, isn't it?
Yeah, you must be able to. I think it's 512 gig, right? So you probably got, 400 gig of usable space? So
yeah, 400
you can
gig.
just about download Black Ops 6.
And you want to leave 10% free, roughly. Yeah. Well, okay. It's cutting it fine.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, move on from State of Decay 3 to... I don't know how much in a minority we are here, but this actually had us both kind of a bit gooey and girly about it.
Oh, yeah. It just looks amazing. Like that trailer. We're talking about Starfield Shattered Space here. The DLC expansion, whatever you want to call it. Like when they started playing that, we both heard the music. And we were like, Starfield. And it looks so good. Like, it looks so good.
So good.
The vibe just feels so good. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super hyped.
It has a lot that... it kind of plays on the best bits of the game from my experience.
Yeah.
The best missions and the best storyline parts were those darker, in-space alien vibes moments. And... There was some in the main story, but not enough of them. Yes. And when they happened, it felt like you were getting like the icing on the top of the cake. Yeah. It's like, this is amazing.
Yes.
And then it stopped happening.
Yeah.
So it very much feels like a lot of that. They showcase a lot of zero gravity fighting. Again, I think there's maybe 2 or 3 moments in the main game and the side quests of zero gravity fighting, and they just don't play on it enough.
Yeah.
Which is odd, isn't it? Because you think... The whole Bethesda physics engine is all about showing off how they get gravity to work and how physics works in their games, isn't it? That's their big thing.
Yeah.
So having this zero gravity vibe
and there's not
is surely like showcasing their best thing as best it can be. So it's weird they didn't do more of it, but it's got that dark... kind of alien scariness to it.
Yes.
It just looks cool.
That's exactly what pulled me in. Like, I was like glued to the screen going, the aesthetic of this, like the vibe of it, like everything that's going on, it just looks amazing. And like, it's focused around the House Varun and all that kind of stuff. And I can't wait to see what comes with it, because we already know that we're going to get like a buggy and stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's already like those update stuff promised. So this is like separate from that. With like new locations and all that kind of stuff. Like I just think this is going to be like the definitive way to play Starfield. Like once it comes out.
Yeah, if you've not jumped into Starfield yet, maybe because you've heard of all like the negativity around it, and there is a fair amount, and some of it is totally justified. This is probably going to be when this DLC drops, it's going to be the best way to come into it, because it's going to be way better optimized. There's going to be way more things to do.
Yeah, like
you say, there's new locations, there's new gear. New bounty missions, which is huge because they get really repetitive. They start to recycle themselves. Mm-hmm. The other bit that's going to be really cool that I think is out now, that dropped after that announcement, is the modding kit.
Yeah, the creation kit. Yes. Yeah, that's out now. I'm pretty sure it's now.
Because again, like that Bethesda thing is about embracing the community mods to games. unless it's Fallout London and they just crap on it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, poor guys. Yeah, awful.
I really wanted to see that as well. They got savaged.
Yeah, they did.
I'm really intrigued and excited to see what the modding community can do with Starfield.
Yeah.
Because I think there's obviously going to be a lot of alien style missions made.
Yeah, I want to see like people putting like xenomorph skins on like people and stuff. Like, you know, that mission with that, what's it called? That like terrain thing. What was it? Terramorph, that's it. I want someone to mod that out to be a xenomorph, like, you know, a xenomorph.
Yeah.
So that you're actually getting chased around by one of them.
There's one random side quest, a sort of random encounter that happens in space, and you come across an abandoned ship, which seems to happen 3 or 4 times. But in this one, it is like straight up from Alien. You enter this ship, and all the crew are dead.
Yeah.
And you find out that they captured some kind of alien species that no one had encountered yet, and it had just gone through and killed everyone. So you're then trying to find out what happened, and you encounter this thing and have to fight it. It's proper terrifying. Just more modding based around those glimpses that Starfield showed of what the game could be at its best.
Yeah, totally.
That's really exciting.
Definitely.
And from Bethesda to Bethesda then, moving on. Bethesda Fest.
There was a lot of Bethesda throughout this whole show. There was a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and kind of rightly so that they are leaning on their studios as hard as they are.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, I'm glad.
They bought them, so they should use them, and it kind of, it's been frustrating up to this point. There hasn't been more.
Yeah, totally.
And now we're seeing loads.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for it. You know, that like I really feel like Xbox are, you know, paving the way for things to come. They've spent all this time sort of building that foundation, buying up all the studios and stuff, to now then start launching up with all the new projects and games and what we can expect in the future. I think they're doing it right.
Fallout 76 Skyline Valley.
Yeah.
We'd heard, I'm sure this was announced a couple of months ago that this was coming.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
The map expansion to Fallout 76, that there was going to be a new location. So that was kind of shown and announced. And you can now play as a ghoul, which is kind of... I know why they've done that.
Yeah, because of the show.
Because of the show, because the ghoul character in the show is so cool.
Yes.
And the show's been so popular. They said in their announcement, it was obviously pre-recorded, the little Fallout piece, and they were celebrating the 17 million players.
Yeah.
Which shows you how long ago they recorded that, because I'm pretty sure, anyway, Xbox announced last week that they had 20 million players.
Yes.
So it's still growing, the Fallout 76 community. So they're just leaning on that hard while the success is there. It's good and bad in my mind.
Yeah.
It's good that they've kept Fallout 76 alive, because there are some really fun parts of that game.
Yeah, it's a really cool game if you're into it. Yeah.
Yeah, it still sucks.
Yeah, well, I was expecting when it came out with Fallout 76, I was like, oh, they're actually going to release like co-op missions now, are they?
Yeah, no.
No.
The co-op element in it's just broken. It just doesn't work properly.
Yeah. There's no point trying to play
fundamentally broken.
Yeah, it's just a multiplayer game. There's no co-op.
Yeah, and that's really frustrating, because it could be amazing to do the kind of missions in the game properly co-op, and everyone gets the experience and the progression together.
Yeah.
But I guess it's not a proper MMO in that sense, is it? It's just a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree.
The other kind of sad part, the bad part of this, is if they continue to expand on Fallout 76, then we're even further away from the next Fallout.
I think it's a different team, you know. Like, I reckon they've got a separate...
Yeah, possibly.
Because it's an ongoing... It's just like Elder Scrolls Online, you know. That's like separate, I think, from the ESO, like the Elder Scrolls team that would be working on Elder Scrolls 6, because it is like a separate, it's an always online game. There's always going to need so many people constantly keeping that cog like turning. I don't think it's like related. So I don't think what's happening with Fallout 76 affects Fallout 5, you know.
I mean, Fallout 5 is still like 10 years away, though, isn't it? Let's be fair.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But a boy can dream. I used to dream about having a life-size Buster Sword. Andy, it's got materia in it.
I know. I'm so jealous.
Materia.
I can't wait to see that this week when I come down.
It's amazing. Okay, you're going to have to fill me in on this one. Although I did put a little note next to your note here. Clair Obscur Expedition 33.
Yes.
My little note just says, it's Final Fantasy on the Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, this blew me away when I started seeing, and I should have known better, to be fair. Like, not saying that it's going to be bad, but you know, I'll get to it. So it started out, and I was like, "Wow, this looks amazing! Like, I love how like deep and rich the story looks." And I was thinking it was clearly like an RPG or whatever. And I was like, "Oh, This is so cool! Like, I love the graphics, I love the art style, like, I love the vibe I'm getting for this." And then it showed turn-based combat. And I was like, but it's all right. Like, I'll still give it a go because it's day one Game Pass.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be honest as well. The combat didn't look that great. It kind of had a janky kind of feel to it as well. The turn-basedness.
Yeah,
it kind of breaks the immersion too much. Turn-based is such a delicate balance.
Yeah, they need to do it right, and maybe they have. Like when you play the game, it might be good, but naturally I'm on the back foot when I hear and see turn-based. I'm just like, oh, I don't know.
Unless it's Pokemon, apparently.
Yeah, but that's just how it is. I mean, I'd be so fine, if it wasn't like that.
Yeah, true. But like you say, it's zero risk because, like most of these games, Game Pass.
Absolutely.
So the fact that this list is so deep and has got so many, at least AAA-looking games from their like announcements.
Yeah.
That are on Game Pass is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah, and talking about Game Pass, and something we were absolutely like, we couldn't believe what was coming, was World of Warcraft was shown. Whatever it was, the War Within.
This needs like a big orange triangle. It needs exclamation marks. This was the moment in which I almost threw my computer out of the room.
Yeah, and I was oblivious to it because I was like, oh look, World of Warcraft. Like, I mean, I've played World of Warcraft since it came out in 2004. So I've played it for years, like over time. I've played most, if not all, of the expansions. Not really the new stuff. I'm pretty sure after the Panda stuff, I haven't like played, which is quite a few years ago now. But anyway, like I spent thousands of hours in this game, and I saw it popping up, and it was showing you all the previous expansion like videos. And like AJ was like, World of Warcraft. I was like, yeah, no, it is. And he was like, yeah, but it's World of Warcraft. And I was like, yeah, like, cool, like, whatever. Yeah. He's like, yeah, but it means it's on Xbox. So I was like, oh my God, like, mind blown, like, we both thought that.
It's the Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
And you're showing World of Warcraft. I'm like, no way. Well, it makes sense because of the Blizzard thing. Yeah. Okay, yeah, World of Warcraft, Xbox. Does that mean World of Warcraft's coming on Game Pass? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a World of Warcraft fan. But since getting into Diablo 4 with you, the whole idea of MMOs has now kind of opened to me a bit and going, actually, that'd be a really cool 4 or more player game. Yeah. Maybe there could be more people from our Discord that could come and join us.
Yeah.
This could be really cool on Xbox.
Yeah.
Wow, that takeover has really come to fruition. And then right at the end, PC only. Honestly, why are you showing it in the Xbox showcase?
Yeah, it was frustrating. It totally was frustrating.
Why is it there?
Yeah. I mean, considering everything before this and after this was Xbox, for Xbox, I was expecting this to now be on Xbox, but that was it.
Release it in the Summer Game Fest. Yeah. Put it there.
Yeah.
Because that's where it belongs.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I mean, I understand because Xbox now is Xbox PC and Blizzard are now Xbox, so like you got to put it somewhere. Yeah. But I bet you there were people around the board meeting table there going, maybe don't put it in this one, guys.
Yeah, this is not going to go well. But I'm sure that reaction is actually quite small. I'm sure I'm in the minority. Most people that are into World of Warcraft, or to be fair, most people that are into MMOs are playing on PC anyway. So
pretty much, yeah.
It's fair. And so for you people that do play on PC, lucky you.
Yeah, but I mean, they just released Final Fantasy 14 and stuff over on Xbox. Do you know what I mean? And you've got Elder Scrolls Online, like, you know, and then there's a new one that we'll talk about in the summer. Yeah, well, Diablo, yeah, I suppose you could count that too. So there is like big MMOs as well. So World of Warcraft, like, surely is still the one that people think of when they hear the word MMO. So, like, I really thought it was coming to Xbox, but no, sadly not.
It is a shame. Okay, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Yeah.
Or Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
I think we all knew it was coming, but it still surprised me when I saw it.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting it.
It surprised me to see it in the Xbox showcase as well, first.
Yeah. When it just started playing and it was like Snake on screen, I was like, what? Like I just felt really spun out. Like, what am I watching here? Like, I was like, it's not a new one. And then it was like Snake Eater. I was like, oh, this is like 20 years old.
Yeah. And I wrongly, we talked about this just before we started recording, I wrongly still associate Metal Gear Solid with PlayStation.
Yes.
I guess it's just the age in which I first touched Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, but same with me. It was PS1, you know, Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely. So they're still intrinsically linked in my mind.
Yeah.
So seeing this 2004, so Metal Gear Solid 3 was PS2?
Probably, yeah.
End
Yeah, it
of
would have been.
PS2?
Yeah, it would have been, yeah.
Everyone's been waiting for it. It's the iconic, it's possibly the best Metal Gear Solid game there is. I don't know how excited I am for it.
Yeah, I'm sad that I'm not more excited. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I used to really love Metal Gear Solid, like a long time ago, but I've been well out of that for a long time now, and I've not bothered. Like, there's ones that I haven't even played, you know, and I've not even bothered to go and play them, you know. So it's just kind of like I've got this big love for Metal Gear Solid of like nostalgia. But you know, maybe if I played that, I'd love it because I did play Snake Eater 20 years ago. You know,
it looked good, man.
It looked really cool.
You could give it that.
Yeah,
it looked really cool, and it depends on how it's priced, or if it does get put into Game Pass, or Game Pass eventually. Whether I'll try it or not. If it's a full price £70-80 release or dollar release, I think I'll probably skip it until it gets dropped.
I'm not doing that. Yeah, no.
And this is the problem that game retail now has, amongst many other problems.
Yeah.
Because there's so much value in our Game Pass subscription here, I'm inclined never to buy a game again unless it's something I want to collect.
Yeah.
That's how this makes me feel. And that's a big statement, and I know it's a statement that's going to get a bit of stick, because that means it's a digital-only thing, but I've been kind of on that journey now anyway for a while.
Yeah.
Unless it's a game I really want to own, like Final Fantasy VII, yes, bingo card, done. Then I'm all right having the digital version just to play it. Yeah. And now I don't even have to buy the digital download, because most of these games that are getting released that I want to play are on Game Pass.
Absolutely, yeah.
To get me to spend £70, it's actually the bar's just got a little bit higher again.
Yeah, 100%. If you're going to get me to pay full price for a game, it's got to be something phenomenal or something I absolutely cannot wait to play, you know? Because otherwise I'm just not overly fussed, you know? I'd rather just get it on Game Pass or something.
Yeah. Okay, Perfect Dark. This absolutely came out of nowhere.
Yeah, what?
Maybe I've been under a rock and I've not seen the rumours, but they were showing, they didn't say what it was at the start, and they were showing this gameplay and the cinematics, and we were both joking with each other like, oh, they've ripped off Cyberpunk here.
Yeah. Vegan Cyberpunk.
This is like vegan Cyberpunk.
Because there's loads of plants and stuff everywhere.
Yeah, it's like Cyberpunk if it was in a jungle, so I started calling it Cyberplant.
Yes.
And so I was like, well, what is this game? And you were saying it had like Watchdog vibes to it as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. And it looked, I'll be honest, if you hadn't seen Cyberpunk, you'd go, it looks quite cool, but after seeing Cyberpunk, it looked a bit mediocre. It was a bit like, yeah, okay, what's this? And we're kind of in the middle of the showcase now. We've seen some really big heavy hitters.
Yeah, it was just a bit of a random drop, wasn't it? And I didn't think anything of it until the end, when it just went, you know, and it told you the title screen. I was like, what? Like, we both were like, hang on, what's going on here? Like, Perfect Dark?
I didn't even realise until it was one of the only games where they had a little like caveat and a little presenter talking about it afterwards. When they said Perfect Dark, my head went, do they not realise that there's a Perfect Dark on the N64? Like if they
didn't even realise it was
do they not
related.
realise that it exists?
Yeah.
And then sure enough, it is about Joanna Black, and it's the sequel to Perfect Dark, which...
Well, I think it's a reboot, isn't it? I thought it might be...
Is it a total reboot?
I thought it was a reboot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might be, because it was Rare that made the N61. N61? Yeah, the N61. Everyone loves that
You had
console.
it before anyone else.
Yeah. That was it. They only made one. That's why it was called that. But yeah, the N64 one was obviously Rare. Rare made like so many massive stuff like Banjo-Kazooie and all that kind of stuff. And then Microsoft took them out and absorbed them basically. And this apparently has been like made with their blessing. Now I don't know what that means. I don't know if any of the original like devs have worked on it or what, but I don't know. But I don't know. I've got like mixed feelings about this. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know what I feel about it, and I think until I play it, because it's 24 years since the original, and I haven't played the original one since I was a kid around that time.
Perfect Dark was the game I played most on N64.
Yeah.
It's when I got an N64 again, like 4 or 5 years ago, it was the first game I got for the N64, and it's the only boxed game that I still have for the N64. I've got that much love for that game. The multiplayer for its time was unreal.
Yeah.
It was built in that GoldenEye engine, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like the sequel to GoldenEye in many ways. It had a much cooler single player, but the multiplayer was where it was at. Again, it was 4-player split screen. It was just cool. So how I feel about it, I've got scars, Andy.
Yeah.
I'm scarred.
Yeah, well, I think until you actually like gone and played it, do you know what I mean? Like, you might play it and then go, actually, this is way better than it looked. But I'm a bit on the fence of like, I don't know how to feel about it.
After Flashback 2, which we shall for now call Flashback Poo, it shouldn't even be called Flashback, it was that bad.
Yeah, they should have just not even
like
bothered.
Rebooting games from that late 90s, early 2000s era, it goes one of two ways, man.
Yeah.
It's either immense or it's total garbage. It's never just in the middle.
Yeah. But I, again, because this is actual Xbox, do you know what I mean? Like, this is them making it. I'm pretty sure this is Xbox Studio, because it would be. They had only IP because of Rare.
Yeah.
They've surely got to go hard on this. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
I hope so.
Their name's behind it, you know?
Yeah, no, I really hope so, because, like I say, I love Perfect Dark on the N64. You play it now, it's not very good.
No.
It's aged horribly.
It's the same with GoldenEye. It sucks.
A GoldenEye, yeah, really, really horrible. Just the control layouts and everything's just disgusting.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Didn't you buy... Oh, it was on Switch Online, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I've got the N64 controller over there, which we were playing it on, and yeah, it's just...
Yeah.
I remember, like, it gave me loads of cool nostalgia, but I was like, I'm not playing any more than like a couple of hours of this.
I think I managed maybe 5 minutes. I didn't even get to the dam, I was like, this is awful. No. I was struggling because like there's only one axis of control,
it's horrible.
Isn't there?
Yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah.
Well, it can't be worse than that. So
no, I think this is going to be a pleasant surprise. Like, and I think
so.
a lot of old school people are probably going to be like kind of the same, like on the fence. Loads of people probably don't even know what it is, but but I think people are going to be skeptical like us until we play it. And I'm hoping and I'm wanting that once I play this, I'm going to be like, oh, this is amazing. Like, this is what I want it to be. But until that day comes, I don't know I don't know how I feel about it.
No. Let's move it on. Diablo 4, Vessel of Hatred expansion. Okay. And it's, I mean, this is your realm, but to not... That was a good pun, actually. This is your realm.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Because this expansion goes deep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot. We've been hearing like rumors about the about the Spiritborn class. I mean, we still don't know anything about it, but it's real. And we've been waiting to see like what this will be. When are they going to bring in a new class? And every time they release an expansion on Diablo, they pretty much, bring a new class in. So to see the Spiritborn looks cool. He's like a jungle dude. We got a new region, the Nahantu or something. I don't know. I can't read.
Nahantu, yeah.
And so that looks really cool. So it's going to be jungle inspired. We're going to have a whole new massive area to explore and everything. And it's all like jungle vibes. They're not actually going to tell you anything more about the Spiritborn class until July, like mid-July, I think it is. And then they're going to kind of do a class deep dive and sort of tell you like what's going on there. But it looks very, very cool. You're going to get a new campaign. They showed the trailer, and it's really funny because we've all got like AJ to play Diablo 4 with us, right? And because once you've completed the story once, you can skip the campaign and go straight to the seasons. So we all wanted to play season 4. AJ hadn't played the campaign before, so it was like, right, okay, let's take you through the campaign. And I'm sat there like, watch every cutscene. We're going to do this. He didn't watch a single one. So when we watched this announcement, I was like, look, it's the first cutscene you've seen for Diablo 4.
It was the first cutscene I'd seen since I loaded the game up the first time.
Yeah. And AJ was like, what is going on here? I was like, this is Diablo for you.
What is Diablo?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I think we completed the campaign in 2 evenings?
Yeah.
3 evenings?
I reckon we did it in under 8 hours. And I mean, it's like a 25, 30 hour campaign. Like, but just because
skipping. I've got no recollection of anything that happened. There was a lot of dungeons. We went to hell a few times, and there was a lot of fights. The end.
Yeah. Well, we just speed ran you through it. Like, it's just like, let's clear the campaign now. Let's do the season stuff.
I honestly felt like if you ever see like films, like there's disaster films where there's parents trying to get their kids away from the danger and they're sprinting and pulling their kid along, and the kid's feet aren't even touching the floor. They're like flailing. That's how I felt like you guys were dragging me like that. So.
Well, it was so funny. Even afterwards when we were playing the season and we were trying to explain to you something the other night and you were like, what? Like you can like reassign like legendary effects to other weapons? Like, it was amazing. Yeah. But so I'm super
I still don't know how the skill tree works.
It's all right. We'll get you there in time for this. But this time when we get Vessel of Blood, we're watching every cutscene. I'm not skipping any of this. Like, I love it. So this looks really cool. The opening cutscene that they showed like for the trailer of this, it looks so good. Like, I'm so hyped for this.
Mercenaries.
Yes.
You can recruit mercenaries.
Yeah, so this is going to be great for people that are playing on their own and stuff,
Yes, add people to your party. That's quite cool.
Yeah.
And, okay, I think this update may be just for you.
What's that?
Pets.
Oh, pets, yes! That was my number one complaint when I started playing Diablo 4 when it launched a year ago. And because I played a lot of Diablo 3. And Diablo 3, you get pets and your pet like runs off and it grabs your gold and different like bits and pieces for you. So you don't have to run around like trying to get gold all the time. It's really frustrating. And for some reason, no idea what they were thinking. In Diablo 4, they're like, no one cares for pets. So let's get rid of those. And everyone,
it's one of the most frustrating things.
Yeah.
In Diablo, is like when you've done like a huge fight and I've got to run around and try and pick everything.
Yep. Oh. Same with the season stuff, like all the little like things you've got to pick up.
Yeah.
Like your pet could do that for you. So they've now announced pets, which is available now. Like right this second, you can just go into the game, get your free pet. There's a dog. And you'll just get your pet immediately. So they're also adding a load of new base game updates. There's going to be like a load of new end game content for the new expansion as well. But there's a load of new stuff for even base game coming, including the pets, which is available immediately. But they've obviously, with the expansion, as always, because it's all about cosmetics, there's a season pass and all that kind of stuff. It's got some insane pricing on this expansion already.
Really does, doesn't it? So base level's 35. We're doing it in British pounds, but I'm pretty sure the price will be exactly the same in dollars.
Yeah, maybe.
Like number for number. It normally is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or thereabouts. £35 for the base level. The deluxe level is £50, and the ultimate is £76.
Yeah.
70. Now you get a lot, and like you say, you get the season pass stuff as well. And you've got to be really into it.
Oh yeah.
£76 for an expansion.
Yeah.
But then if you are really into it, let's say you're like me, and you're playing the game on Game Pass. You've not bought the game,
Yeah.
and I've suddenly got really into it. I've completed the campaign now. Now I'm just at the end game stuff. I can now expand this entirely and get everything for the price of the game.
Yeah.
That's quite good value.
Yeah, it is good value. When you look at that, the fact that the base game is free, essentially on Game Pass, then you can just, pay for this. But for someone like me that's bought the game twice and has it on Game Pass, I've got the PS5 version, I've got it on Steam, and I play, and I've got it on Xbox from Game Pass. So then being expected to pay, for a full price game. I know it's not. It's £35 for the base level. But if I wanted to pay top end, and then because Christina plays too, I've got to buy it twice. So, it gets well expensive. So, yeah.
Really expensive.
If you're someone like AJ that's just got the game for free on Game Pass, then paying £35 seems actually pretty good value because you're just, getting more stuff. But anyway, these are all cosmetic extras that you get. You get the in-game currency to spend on the cosmetic shop. You get a season pass and all that kind of stuff. You get mounts, different pets.
The core parts of the expansion, the new class and the new region, are they available to anyone who's playing it, or are they closed off if you don't buy the expansion pack?
They'll be closed off. Yeah.
Okay. That's a shame. It's paywalled a little bit, isn't it? But like we say, there's a lot of new players in Diablo 4 now since it came to Game Pass.
Oh yeah, there will be.
It's done really well.
Yeah, this is just typical MMO style expansioning. It's nothing we've not seen before.
Yeah, it's fine, and they're keeping the game alive. In many respects, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
It's on that tipping point between live service nonsense and live service microtransactions and actually being valid. Because you're actually getting more game, it doesn't feel you're being quite as cheated.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think okay, it's only been a year, but how they treated Diablo 3, where there was 10 years with one expansion in the middle, that sucked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to see that we're getting all this stuff already after a year of the game coming out, and they've said we want to keep this going much further, like a live service game, I'm all for this. Do you know what I mean? I want Diablo to evolve and get bigger and better and keep going, so that there's more Diablo, because the wait between 3 and 4, I played Diablo 3 countless times in the wait for 4, So this is exciting for me, even if it is expensive for the expansions,
It's almost like this showcase was made for you, because from exciting for you to exciting for you is one of the games you talk about the most. It's a bit like me in Final Fantasy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Fable.
I love Fable. Fable 1 is my die hard. I love this game.
When you got your Steam Deck, I think it was the first game I saw you playing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was the first thing I loaded up.
Fable.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. I have to say, I've not jumped into Fable. It's not something that I've particularly. I know of its existence. Obviously, I've not been sleeping under a rock, but it has to say this looks amazing from what they've shown.
Oh yeah.
Almost like it needs an asterisk next to that, because we're not seeing gameplay yet. Although some of it looks like it could be from gameplay.
Yeah,
it's obviously rendered out.
Yes. Yeah.
Because like you were saying, it's immense detail, 100 FPS, buttery smoothness.
Oh yeah, you see those shots of them running through some fields and stuff, and it's right. Do you know what I mean? You've got 4090s and SLI
on my
there.
Series S.
Yeah, and it says optimized for Series X. And I joked to you whilst it was playing out, and I said, only on Series X2, only on next gen.
I mean, if it looks even close to that, it'll be amazing.
Yes.
We don't know a huge amount about it beyond that.
No, not really, but I am super hyped. I'm so happy that they're continuing Fable and not letting it die, because for me, Fable 1 on the original Xbox, I'm pretty sure it was, I loved this as a kid. This blew my mind as being an action RPG, because it's so sort of easy to play. Do you know what I mean? It's very sort of... It's a mix between linear and open, if you're just following the story, it's quite linear, but you can go back on yourself and go to different zones and stuff, and all your decisions
correct
weigh
me
up.
if I'm wrong.
What's that?
because I may be aware, correct me if I'm wrong, I may be aware because I've not played it.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it is an RPG that sat kind of somewhere between Zelda and Final Fantasy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Yeah, it was that kind of thing.
Like, it kind of sat like if they were either end of a spectrum for like kind of action RPGs.
Yes.
That Fable sat somewhere in the middle of that.
Yeah, but the thing that I loved about it was the fact that it had I can't think what it's called, not a repercussion system, where your choices matter, like, a moral sort of like thing. So if you actually were bad, the people in the game would actually react to you, and you would get worse renown and reputation. You would start growing horns if you were evil, and people wouldn't let you in,
amazing.
like, and stuff like that. Whereas if you're the opposite, you actually got a halo, like, like it was so good.
I'm day one horns.
Yeah, I played through like multiple times, and I was like, right, I'm going full evil on this playthrough, full good on that playthrough, somewhere in the middle on the next one. Like it was really cool.
Do you ever make it, if you try to play all good, do you ever make it to the end all good?
I did on that.
Are you that disciplined?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I can never be that disciplined. I tried Red Dead Redemption 2. I tried really hard on one of my playthroughs to be good. Tried really hard. It's almost like the game conspires against you.
It does though, doesn't it? It is tempting not to do the right thing, Well, especially when something like really annoys you. You're like, screw it, I'll just kill you then.
Yeah. Okay. From Fable onto Atomfall, which is the UK version of Atomic Heart, which was the Russian version
of Fallout.
Yes.
Yeah. So I have no idea. It just looks like a rip of Fallout, but like set in the UK.
Yeah. Not for me.
No, I mean, it might be all right.
It's Game Pass though, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure.
I can't remember. So if it is on Game Pass, then yeah, I'll give it a go.
But even now, I know jokingly, I was saying earlier about a game has to have quite a high bar for me to actually buy now. Even to the point now, if it's on Game Pass, you're looking at the amount that's coming out. Even for games that will be free in my subscription, they have to be quite a high bar for them to get my controller time.
Yes.
I don't have that much time to play all the games.
Absolutely the same with me. I'm very, very selective, and even stuff I want to play, I often don't have time to. Or I put aside because I'd rather be playing like with you, playing Diablo or something. Do you know what I mean? And so like single player stuff that I really want to play just ends up falling by the wayside. And then often I don't even go back to it, So like that will probably just get pushed into the past and I'll forget about it.
I think I'll forget about it as soon as we stop talking about it.
Yeah, me too. And that's a shame. I mean, it might be really good. And maybe when it comes out, like people start talking about it again and maybe they change our minds. But like for now, I think I'm going to forget about this, like you said.
Yeah, sadly.
And then we get Gears of War E-Day. Like, and
now am I right in thinking that this is the prequel to the first Gears of War?
Yes. Yeah. So this is set 14 years before. So before the invasion and everything, because like Gears of War 1, you start already like partway through as Marcus and stuff. Marcus is back now, but younger because, you're set in...
You get to see, the emergence, isn't it?
That's the one, yes.
It's such a huge... There's going to be so many people that are going to be so excited by this as well. First of all, it's such a huge franchise.
Massive.
It's one you've just played to death as well.
Yeah, I've played all of them since the first one. So I remember it when it was just like a new IP and this new thing, Gears of War, and it was real dark and like gritty. And I just remember getting the first one as a kid and playing it co-op with my cousin over Christmas. And we slammed the whole thing back to back. We just didn't spend any time with my family at all and just literally played this game until we completed it. And it was so good. Like, so I've played all of them. I might not have played them like day one, like as they've come out, but I have played through all of them co-op. And they're really good games, they're really good games. So I love the fact that there's already 5 games out, and obviously new people will be like, oh yeah, but this is number 6. Like, I don't want to get into it now. So for them to now do a prequel, so you can play this, get into the series, and then play through the rest, I think that's really cool. Like, it's a good way of doing it.
It's a really smart move. It's a really stylish shooter that's a bit more bit more brains about it as well than just kind of like John Rambo with everything.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. You got to cover, duck and cover. It's all about that. It's all slow,
Duck and
clunky. Like, I love it. You got the chainsaw guns. You know, it's all really cool. Like, I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. Awesome. And I know there was a few people in our Discord that were really excited when we were sharing what we were seeing in there, and they were like, "No, wait, did you say Gears of War?" Like, yeah, Gears of War E-Day. It's like, yeah. So there's a lot of excitement about that. I'm sure that's going to be popular. I can't remember if it was Game Pass or not. I would have thought it.
Yeah, I'm
will
pretty
be.
sure it was Game Pass. Yeah, day one. I'm pretty sure.
Day one.
I think so. I might be wrong. Maybe I'm
Honestly,
hopeful for this.
This Xbox list just gets more and more ridiculous.
It's insane. Yes,
it really is. Before I round it up, the penultimate thing that they went on to do was show what felt like the entire Indiana Jones movie.
Oh yes,
which made me want to curl up into a ball and cry.
Oh, it was like 4
Not
hours
with
long.
Excitement.
It was like the extended edition, wasn't it? Like, yeah, it was so long. I don't know why they had to show all that.
I get it. You want to show off the cinematics. Well, first, these cinematics don't look very good.
Yeah.
So maybe don't lean on that too much. Secondly, at this point, I just want to see gameplay.
Yeah.
Give me 60 seconds of gameplay montage with some cool Indiana Jones music. I'm there for it.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. This, it was like 5 minutes long of just story.
Yep.
And I feel a bit juxtaposed because I love story games. I love detail. I love like falling into new lore and stuff, apart from Diablo where I'll just skip everything. But because it's Indiana Jones, it feels like almost the same story that I've seen 1,000 times in their films. So it felt like it was one of those Christmas movies again, and I'm a bit bored.
Yes.
Like, right. They're going to try and get some artifact, and it's going to fall out of their grasp somehow, and there's going to be some peril, and there's probably going to be Nazis involved. Okay.
Yep.
I mean, it was a bit repetitive. I just wanted it to end, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was just slow. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was just waiting for the next thing. Do you know what I mean? I was just like, come on. Like, you know, we've already seen the developer direct where we saw loads of gameplay and stuff. So it just seemed like a bit backwards that we'd already seen all that. And then this time it was just like a 2-hour long trailer. I was like, okay. But yeah.
And at the end of a long list of really exciting game announcements, it was a weird slowdown in pace.
It was a very like slow, drawn out sort of thing. I mean, I'm still excited for it, and I hope it's good, but I'm not as excited as other stuff, you know?
No, it could go either way, that game.
Yeah.
It could go either way. It might be amazing, or it might be low-rent Tomb Raider.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I'm really worried that it's low-rent Tomb Raider, and it's going to be really slow.
Yeah.
Some of the gameplay looks like it could be a bit sluggish as well.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it could be. I mean, we got to wait and see.
We'll wait.
Yeah.
The other thing, though, is that it's Game Pass as well, isn't
Absolutely.
it? So there's zero risk in trying it.
Yep.
It's another big thing for Game Pass. It's kind of mental. They rounded this up with some hardware announcements as well. And now, obviously, there wasn't the handheld announcement that people were starting to get excited about.
Yes.
Like you've said a few times, this is a couple of years off before we see this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they've only just started talking about it.
Yes.
But we did see the long-anticipated all-digital Series X.
Yep.
And then the weird curveball of the 2 terabyte Series X, the disk drive version.
Yeah.
You made a really good point about this was almost a purposeful move to say that they're still embracing discs despite all that Game Pass stuff we just showed you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was like, don't worry, like we're still got the disc version, because everyone was worried when the announcement of the digital only would happen, because we saw the leaked papers and stuff through, like, you know, when they were acquiring, you know, everything else. People were like, as soon as they announced that, that's it for backwards compatibility and stuff. So I feel like this was their way of saying, don't worry, like, you know, like we've still got the disk drive. But I do find it weird that they only put the 2 terabyte in the disc version and not the all digital. Like, it's a bit weird.
Why not have them in both, man?
Yeah.
This weird disparity thing constantly. It's like, it just frustrates me.
Yeah.
Clearly, Xbox's direction of travel is, if not all digital, then at least heavily hybrided and that digital is going to be the main focus, and that physical is going to be the small bit that they keep alive, mainly for backwards compatibility.
Yes.
So make the consoles in parity.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me. Like it should have been, and now they're all 2 terabyte. You know.
Amazing! Wow, how exciting! Especially when Call of Duty is going to be 300 gigabytes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
we need it. I don't know. At least it's exciting to see new hardware coming, even if it isn't an upgrade necessarily. It is something else to talk about. I would be personally really tempted by the all digital Series X because my personal Xbox experience is Game Pass only.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'd be quite excited by that. So for me, my setup's a bit weird. In that fortunate position to have an Xbox and a PlayStation, and the PlayStation's my physical media machine, and Xbox is my Game Pass machine.
Yeah, rightly so. That's fair play.
Yeah, especially after this list.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what they're wanting, isn't it? They just want more Game Pass subscriptions, and I think that's not a bad thing.
Before I round it up, there is some balance I want to add, just really quickly. I don't want to go into loads of details about these, but we did have the Summer Game Festival on Friday as well.
We did.
We saw some really cool announcements. Alan Wake 2, which the collector's edition for that, you just went straight out and bought that expansion.
Well, I got the like series pass or whatever. I wish I just went and got the collector's edition. It's like 200 quid. So I was like, yeah, I'm not getting that. But I got the season pass or whatever it was called, which gives you this expansion, Night Springs, which is out now. Like it came out like 24 hours after the Summer Game Fest. So I was like, I'm buying that immediately because Alan Wake 2 is like one of my all-time favorite games ever. Amazing, love that game. And the expansion like pass thing that I bought also gives you the next one as well, which will like conclude it. So I thought, why not? It wasn't expensive. It was like £12 or something on the store. So I was like, that was it.
Wow, that's really cheap. But even the full game when it came out was cheap, wasn't it? I think it was only 40 at launch.
I can't remember, to be honest.
It was cheap.
Yeah.
There were some others. We saw more from Star Wars Outlaws. I'm in two minds whether that's going to be the best game ever or a massive flop. It's Ubisoft, so probably we'll just get ripped off finding out.
Exactly, yeah.
We also saw that Amazon's biggest flop since the Lord of the Rings series, New World, is coming to consoles. If anyone has played that game, I'd love to know.
Yeah, I'd love to know too. Because, I was excited by it when it very first got announced. Then it released and I just didn't bother playing it. So, man.
I'm inclined to think it doesn't actually exist.
Yeah, it's not even real. It's not even real. No.
It's not real. No one's seen it. And we need to give total balance to this by at least having one PlayStation game on the list.
Phantom Blade Zero. This looks insane. It's Ghosts of Satsuma and Dark Souls.
I was just going to say, you've written a little note there. Ghost of Satsuma meets Dark Souls vibes. I'm pretty sure you mean Tsushima, don't you?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that because someone hacked my web file here and changed the wording.
No, wasn't hoping you'd read it out. This looks really cool. I criticised earlier that we have too many samurai games, and then I see this and I go, maybe we don't have enough samurai games.
Yeah, no, this looks amazing though. Like, because there has been a lot of samurai stuff. Obviously, Ghost of Satsuma was like a mind-blowing big breakaway. I love that game. Like, really, really cool. And then we've seen it come to PC and Steam and stuff, recently. But this Phantom Blade Zero, I mean, it's PlayStation exclusive. I don't know for how long or whatever. I don't know who's making it. I was too excited by just how good this trailer looked. Like, it looks phenomenal. Yeah. Like, and it's got feels like it's got Dark Souls vibes just because of the aesthetic, and like they show you like straight away fighting a boss. So that's why I felt like that. But then looking at it like outside of the event, the people were like, the devs and stuff were saying, but it's kind of Souls-like, but then it's also a bit Devil May Cry, and that was like, yes, now we're getting into like Bayonetta and Stellar Blade vibes of combat. That's right up my street. So this is like, I cannot wait to see more of this game. It looks stunning.
It does. The art style and everything just looks really cool. Combat looks slick and stylish. Yeah, it's definitely a game I think both of us would really enjoy.
Yep.
How long it's a PlayStation exclusive for, or its price point, we don't know any of these details yet. We will see, or even when it's coming. it looks like 2025 for certain.
Yeah.
It's definitely not this year that it's coming, because the hands-on demos go on until September. So
yeah, well, I think it said there
we'll
was
see.
a demo coming later, so I'm guessing this hands-on demo will be released to the public like in 6 to 12 months or whatever. Like, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about it before on the podcast. It'd be great to see more demos coming.
Yes.
Pre-release demos. It's just, I think it's missing still from the gaming industry.
Yes.
But anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. Have Xbox done the Ultimate Flex, or is there nothing on this list that excites you? Do you not like the idea of playing cool games for free? I mean,
Exactly.
could let me know if you totally disagree with us.
Come out
Maybe we are still
swinging.
delusional.
Yeah.
They were swinging. I think they were swinging. If you think they were swinging, let us know what games you're most hyped for. Or even if this would sway you into getting a Game Pass subscription and moving to Xbox land.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're aiming at.
Yeah, of course. They're trying to entice everyone, and there was something for everyone there. Like, in that list,
Really
they
was.
spanned so many different genres and art styles and everything else, and game styles in total. Like, I think they're really trying to put the feelers out and try and get as many people into Game Pass as possible. You know, and hitting it straight off the bat with Black Ops was really tactical. Of like, hey, Sony guys, just pay for a sub, and you can get this. You know. Like,
Oh, you're tired of buying it every year? Just have a subscription. It's cheaper.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty mental. So I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you're in podcast land, we love you listening to us. Maybe try to find a way of getting in touch to see if you agree that this looks cool when we're not in the same room.
Yeah.
I quite like it because I don't have to make Andy lunch now.
Yeah, I'm still hungry because I haven't eaten today because AJ's not, made me any lunch.
When I don't feed you, you don't eat. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Consider joining the membership so you can see pictures of my giant sword on Discord.
Yes.
I get that out for you. And Andy, sometimes you do stuff too.
Yeah, sometimes I show pictures of my ring.
So you can see Andy's ring, his dog's balls, and my giant sword, all for 99p. It's cheaper than OnlyFans.
It's so much better than anything.
It is, and you get early access to these videos when we record them in advance, not like this, like ad hoc kind of setup. But I quite like this.
Yeah.
You get to see my room, my new room.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And you get to see Andy's room from a different angle.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yes. Maybe some podcast people haven't seen this set before, so...
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, before you go, please do like and subscribe to the channel, and then maybe watch another video from us. It'll be somewhere between our faces if we manage to find a way of fitting it in there, I guess.
Somewhere.
So until the next time.
Bye.
Bye.